Hello. It is a Monday. Welcome to the show where the host wears sunglasses and the other guy is on the other side of the continent.
I forget what it's called, but we got a good one for you today. Morning, Rhett. How we doing?
We're nervous.
Oh, it is a game day. Apparently the weather was going to be really rough on what was it? I guess
Sunday.
Yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So the game between the Bills and the Glorious today. Is it a nice spring day? What are we looking at out? Oh,
Lights dusting right now. The snow is coming down a little bit, but I think further south where the stadium is, they typically get more snow than up here. So
yeah, you're in the fancy part of town where you don't get 6 feet of snow. You only
yeah,
get like
no,
4.
it's like the Bahamas.
That's right. I remember you opened your garage. You still had a foot of light when the garage door opened.
Yeah, it wasn't even completely.
The other
covered.
places, the whole house is under snow.
I heard. I'm sure there's pictures out there because they were talking about, but the stadium was apparently it was just getting pummeled with snow. Like the amount of snow was crazy.
Okay, so we have some footage from Buffalo. I think everyone saw. Well, I shouldn't say everyone saw. The stuff that was making its rounds on the weekend was like just swirling wind in the stadium. No chance the TV cameras would have been able to even see the play. Everyone's like, we're missing an epic snow game. It's like, you wouldn't have seen it. Don't worry.
You wouldn't have been able to get there because the roads were all closed.
That's right. And so I guess what the decision was, it had nothing really to do with football so much as like, this is a public safety thing. So the governor of
What was the state of emergency?
State said, we can't do it. Now, this is yesterday or today?
That's last night.
That is last night. And look how much snow is left. Like they're slowly going through the stadium. Let's watch that again. Like, look at this. They're like 5 rows in. Oh,
well, I think it snowed overnight.
Yeah. So this was probably the big snowy, windy day. Get that out of there. And then you noted the light dusting. Plus there's going to be more because they're not in the Bahamas neighborhood.
I don't know if it was even a light dusting because the guys on the sports radio here were like, there's feet of snow. They were saying you could get down the aisles, but you can't get in the rows to your seat. Oh,
look at this guy. Isn't that awesome? Randy from Trailer Park Boys is there helping out. What a guy.
$20 an hour.
$20 an hour. He's just riding the old snow slide all the way down. That is wild. So they got these massive dump trucks at the bottom at basically at sideline level. And they're just throwing all the snow down the slide.
They move snow. That is one thing you give the people of Buffalo credit for. They can move snow fast, but it's going to be a mess. Like even the parking lots to park down there, getting down there. Oof.
They just announced a free shuttle. So they're running a bunch of shuttles, the team is, because they're don't drive. The parking's a disaster. Like you think about all that snow, you could plow maybe half the parking lot. The other half's going to be where all the snow goes. Like there's nowhere to put it.
And I don't know what the weather moving forward is. Like I didn't look at that. Like it might be getting worse again. So you might get to the game and not get home.
Speaking of getting home, how was your return from Phoenix? I didn't know you were gone, and you were gone. There's John weighing in the chat.
Boy, John.
The game was a riot. You didn't go, suggest you go next year. If they're there next year, Rhett, they could get a lot of thrashered this summer if things don't go well.
So 2 things. Pinder, absolute home run. I was kind of annoyed with your choice, to be honest. I'm like, what are we doing? Come on. And you absolutely knocked it out of the park. That place was like you said, it was a riot. It was awesome being in that building. Absolutely loved it. If you haven't gone, go.
And we ran into some Saskatchewan royalty. Darcy Hordichuk somehow snuck you into the VIP under his trench coat or something. You were treated like a champ. You were rocking the fluorescent yellow Betway, posing for photos at the intermission. All the fellows loved you. You weren't there long, but it was quite a shift you put in there.
I was in and out quick because I woke up at 4 a.m. and I'm like, I had a flight that had on my return flight had been, I changed my flight there because you and Boom said I should do the show on Wednesday. I was going to leave Wednesday. So I left Thursday, get there, and Thursday or Wednesday. What's that?
You basically land at 4.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get to the airport, we're like off to the game.
Yeah. and then I had a flight home that they canceled because of the weather. And then there's a bunch of bolts that are loose on planes down here, which is apparently not safe.
Yeah.
So they absolutely canceled my flight home. So I woke up at 4 a.m. and they'd rebooked me, I guess, on a flight to get in at midnight or something out of New York. But I looked at the weather and the shit was hitting the fan around 5 o'clock. So got up and went to the airport and got on a flight and got home before it got bad.
Unbelievable. So I think you arrived at 4 and you were gone probably from the hotel. Like if you got to the hotel at 5, you might have left by 5 a.m. That's a 12-hour shift. That was impressive work.
That's about how long I was there.
And you came through Denver on the way there and on the way back.
Viva Las Vegas. I figured if I'm going to fly home, if I'm going to get stuck anywhere, I don't mind getting stuck in Vegas.
See, he's a thinker. He's an idea guy. That's sensational work. And that is why you don't see Boomer today, by the way. As, our boy is in Vegas. I've tracked his flight, already an hour late. We'll see what's happening.
Come home tomorrow, Boom. Don't risk it.
No rush, Boomcat. No rush. He was at the sports book yesterday. He was at the Vegas Golden Knights game on Saturday. Let's get to our opening thoughts, our opening statements from McLeod Law. You know Peter Klein. If your insurance company's messing you around, get him on side, whether it's personal injury, whether it's long-term injury, insurance claims, medical claims. You should be focusing on recovering. Let Peter take care of any nonsense going on behind the scenes. Disability insurance claim being denied. He's the guy you want. He was down on our trip. He was our legal advisor. He was busier than I thought he was going to be, handing out legal advice to guys.
Popular.
Very popular. We had a great time. Great to see him out of the office, out of the suit, into a neon t-shirt and poolside. A great weekend with him. Want to say thank you to all the barn animals, as Dean coined them. 2 incredibly brave females and 26 donkeys. That was the tally. Not bad.
It was a good crew. There was no clingers. It was wonderful.
Yeah, no huggers, no foamers, no weirdos, just rock solid dudes. And I think we need pins, I think, for the OGs, because we're going to do this again and again and again and again. It's too much fun not to. Whoever's on that first trip, like they get the OG pins, right? Like 1.0.
I like that idea. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, you're a pinner. Hey, the pins are you, or how was you've been on every year since year 1? Wow.
Can it be a pin of you?
It wouldn't be me. I mean, it could actually, me with the mullet might be year 1 if we had to make a pin. This has not been received very well on the home front. I got to tell you.
Oh, honey. One more week.
I thought we'd just be, irresistible.
You know what?
Can't keep our hands off.
Let me get the acid wash out. Get this jeans on and let's go. Get it, embrace it.
If only it was summer, I could rent a T-top or something. Get into one of Boom's cars that he loves. That would be the move. But Peter Klein's an OG on the trip. He's also, if it's community in Calgary, it's got to be McLeod Law. They know the city. They know how things work around here. And just like this city, they get the people around. They know how things work, whether it is business, personal, whatever you're looking for. They're helping clients meet their goals. McLeod-law.com. And you can follow on social at McLeod Law LLP. So how much of the Vegas game did you take in? You would have got back home in plenty of time. In fact, the day before, it was the late game on hockey night. Flames were feeling good. Vegas were not. They had a Jack Eichel not going to play announcement the day of the game, I believe. And it just felt like, man, if there was ever a time to play Vegas in Vegas, where the Flames have been completely just snake bitten, they can't win in that rink seemingly. This was one that was lining up nicely. And sure enough, they got a lead. Markstrom was sensational, particularly in the second, and they escaped with 2 points and a rather seamless, or I shouldn't say easy, because Markstrom was great, but I mean, it didn't ever seem in doubt. The Vegas made it 3-1, and that was as close as they got.
Would you call that a Flames script?
That was a Flamesy win. When we looked at this group, it was like maybe they could look like the Islanders. That's how the Islanders win, what you saw on Saturday. They get great goaltending. It was, a good 4-line effort. Don't allow too many chances, hopefully.
I mean, we've watched enough hockey over the years, but they're exuding a bit of a swagger that I haven't seen for a while. There was a confidence, or there's some weight off their backs. They all look like they're skating freely and having fun, right? Like, which is hard. I mean, we talk about it, but it sounds kind of corny, but it really looks that way. But you watch them play, making passes, making plays. There's a confidence to it and an enjoyment that you can see in them. At least I think I see it.
And we talked about it. We did a show poolside on Friday while you were in the air, which didn't bother anyone here in Calgary when it was minus a million. They were happy to see our bare feet.
Very supportive.
Sandals. Yeah, totally. Not rubbing anything in. But it was exactly that. It was, think about how much more air there is in the room than a year ago, that young guys have opportunities. You're allowed to have fun. Let's go celebrate a win. Let's not overreact to a mistake or two here or there. How much fun do these guys have going to work right now? And the dad's trip, I think, added even another layer. Like, every time they panned to Rusty Coleman, you could just see, like, these guys are having a great time. That's 3 in a row with the dads. Ottawa at home, and then the 2-game road trip. I was joking on Twitter the other day. Flames got to be introducing a 6-game dad's homestand today, don't they? Like, it's been unbelievable.
Optional. Every trip is now optional for fathers. You just come on, sit by your kid. They look good. I clearly I didn't expect it. I had packed it in on them fairly early on, and I think they deserved it. But the more you kind of watch, you're like, well, you can squint. They've beat good teams. I think there's been a lot of circumstantial, like Eichel being out and Hill, you know what I mean?
But honestly,
you still have to win those games.
And they've missed Tanev for a while. They've missed Markstrom for a bit, not massive. They've had no Pelche all year. They'd love to be telling you they've had Oliver Kylington for 41 games. They haven't. So it's not just other teams that run into these things. We saw last year they were quite lucky on the injury bug. They haven't been this year in many senses. But you just got to tip your cap. I think Ryan Huska deserves a lot of credit. He's been stern when needed, but he hasn't blown up. He's been professional. I think they've navigated some tough spots, and there's a lot of guys that I think, as you noted, they love coming to the rink right now. This is a team that doesn't get blown out. They work their tails off, and now all of a sudden it's a heck of a homestand here. They got 6 games at home, Rhett, then All-Star break, then that CBA mandated 7-day break. They don't play a road game till Feb 6. Like, we're talking 3 weeks for these guys.
Well, it could be good or bad.
I mean, look, what it means is if you're sick of airplanes, great. And if you're not, go somewhere for All-Star week, because
you can still get away.
Settle in.
Break it up.
Settle in. And we talk about it all the time. If there's one thing that'll mask problems, Rhett, one thing that trumps everything else in this sport, what is it?
The old goaltender.
Markstrom has been awesome.
Yep.
Like, he's getting Vezina votes. I would put him in a top 3 right now for that trophy. And I don't think we were talking much about him. I guess that first month of the season sewered everyone, including the team's record, but it feels like a very, very big resurgence here in the middle third of the season for Markstrom.
Well, and it takes the pressure off of everyone else when he plays that well. And you wonder how good they'd have been last year if he'd have played this way. Right? You can't, and I don't care. I'm not going back in the past to rehash it, but they're probably a playoff team and maybe everything's different. I mean, you get this kind of,
they missed by 2 points, 3 points. They had more points than the Panthers, who made it in the East. Like, if they have this Jacob Markstrom last year, they might be a home ice team. How many games did they lose by 1 goal? Like, they led the league in 1-goal losses. How many times did they lose in overtime? How many times did the first shot go in? Like, it just changes everything. And you've seen it. You saw it with Beezer in Florida. You saw it with Hasek in Buffalo. You saw it with Kipper in Calgary. Great goaltending. Just, I don't care what your special skill is or your superhero trait. Goaltending beats it all. Get hot, baby.
Now we can't trade him.
Greg Millen made some comments on Saturday I found interesting. He said, what are you doing if you're talking about trading Markstrom? What are you doing? You spent decades looking for a goalie, and now people want to trade him. And I think my only thing that was missing from what, like, Greg's right, if you just look at the short term, like what they have right now. But what happened last year? And how do we know that season's never happening again? That's what makes you wonder. Is this what you're going to get every year for the next 3 from Markstrom, or is this the best year he's going to have of his last 3?
But that might be a fool's errand too, to try and figure it all out.
No, but to suggest that this is just what it's going to be moving forward, that's what I mean, might be a little presumptuous. Oh,
Yeah.
he's playing great.
He's the best.
He'll play like this forever. Well, no, he might not. He might have a year like last year again. Last year, he had a kid on the way. It was his first kid. Until the kid came out, he was awful. He was 880 something. And, do they have another kid on the way next year? Does it affect him the same way? We don't know. Maybe it had nothing to do with the kid. But how do you know that he's going to put another season like this together? It's kind of been every other year he's been great in a way.
Yeah, you're right.
But when you're this close, I get it. You're not trading.
Yeah, I think you throw that all out the window and go, what do we have right now? Because they've now positioned themselves back in that conversation of what are you going to do? And it's real.
It's tricky.
It's not. I think for all of us, we've seen enough, and I still think it holds true that you need star players, but their star is the goaltender, and you don't get better than that. So
right. Yeah.
And that's what I said last week. You can't do it. What you need is to have Wolf come in and play 15 games and find out what he is. If he's replacing Markstrom like that, then now he is available. But if this is a guy that's going to need some grooming, which probably is the case, then you maybe have to rethink and go, how do we approach this? So,
and you're just not going to get enough certainty on Wolf anyway, because no-name goalies have nice 10-game runs anyway, right? Like, is this Johan Hedberg? Is this the Hamburglar? The difference between the 30th best goalie and the 100th best goalie in the world is almost nothing. Like, I really believe that. So anyone's best game, that if you're a pro in one of the best 2 or 3 leagues in the world, is going to be good enough to steal hockey games at the NHL level. It's just, how many of those can you string together? What are you over season? So that's, I suppose, we're back into the dilemma we didn't want Connie to be in this summer, which was make it clear, be good enough or be absolutely not good enough, and let there be a clear path forward on what the right thing to do. And maybe, just maybe, Rhett, there is some middle ground. If they are going to be close and in the mix, or maybe clinging to that last wild card, you can now convince me that re-signing Noah Hannafin and shedding the other parts, okay.
You might be able to stock.
I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm okay with it. I understand it. It makes sense to me. There's your standings.
You might be able to stock the cupboards enough and squeak into the playoffs by moving a couple pieces here and there.
Yeah, and rather than say, hey, they don't have a snowball's chance in hell in the playoffs, you say, who are they going to play in round 1 that's got a better goalie? And it's like, okay, so you're not going to be favored, but again, goaltending. If that's what they're going to get from Markstrom the rest of the year, you've swayed me a bit. Not so much on Lindholm, not so much on Tanev.
I think you could. I actually think you could move Lindholm. And pick up someone else to fill his spot, and you know what I mean? And the results for your team might not change, because I don't think Lindholm's driving the bus. I think he's a good player, but he might be better served on another squad, and if you're not able to re-sign him, trade him anyway. So trade him and find someone else to fill that spot. You might be perfect.
If you traded Lindholm and you got a young D-man and a high pick, and you moved in a Coronado or Pelche, not to play center on the top line, and you'll have to reshuffle things, but I'm kind of with you. The other thing that I think about is, imagine if you traded Chris Tanev at the deadline, got a really nice haul for a UFA defenseman that's great in his own zone, and in July 1 you pick up the phone and sign him again to a 2-year deal. Like, you might win on both sides. Maybe that next contract's going to be no good, but there's lots of ways to slice this. It's not as simple as sell everyone or re-sign everyone, obviously.
Yeah, it gives you hope that I didn't have the fear, but a lot of people did, that if you started selling pieces, you're going to put yourself in a not win for a decade scenario.
Right.
And I think that's, you don't have to worry about that as much.
Okay. So those are opening remarks for McLeod Law. Again, if you want to find them, McLeod-Law.com for more information for them. Any sort of legal issues, they're your guys, McLeod-Law.com, and on social media at McLeod Law LLP. Okay. We missed a little something on Friday. We did the poolside show. It was a little abbreviated. A little bit of fog down there in Phoenix, believe it or not, mostly between our ears. After a big Thursday night out, we had a ton of fun. Again, big thanks to everyone that came on the inaugural Barn Burner trip. Everyone's very excited about the next one. We haven't even got that far, but everyone's already very excited. And a lot of people, there was some serious FOMO when you mixed in the weather on top of what was a great experience at the rink and then just a great group of guys. So we can't wait to get back and look. That schedule drops next year, Rhett. Like, I know the day it drops, we're going through it with a fine-tooth comb.
I thought maybe if there's a trip to Florida here in March that maybe we could just...
There's lots of things we can do. There's the Blue Jays in Seattle's a fun one. We got our good pal of the show, Mike Soroka's pitching in Chicago for the White Sox now. Chicago in the summer. You can do worse than that. There's lots of ideas. But amid the chaos of this trip, we missed something really cool. And we do that for Finning Cat, where we got to tell you, is there anything like cooler and more amazing than like heavy machinery? This is like, maybe not for ladies, but we're dudes. This is cool stuff. We love this.
Not when you got piles and piles of snow and you need all that equipment.
What, like if you had a front end loader right now, how happy would you be?
Oh,
you'd just be a pig.
I'd have a lot of friends. I'll tell you that.
Finning Cat, of course, improve productivity and efficiency with equipment you can rely on. Go to finning.com and check out their extensive inventory, new, used, and rental equipment to find the right solution to meet your unique needs. Your needs, Rhett, would be getting rid of snow. You would be a very popular guy down at the stadium today if you had a front end loader, if you had even a little Bobcat, whatever you need.
Bobcat and a dump truck, whatever, all kinds of stuff.
All the heavy machinery.
Here.
Need a part? It's never been easier with Finning Cat's online service. Invest in the future of your business. Check out the latest at finning.com. So we missed something while we were poolside, while we were yucking it up down in the desert. Let's go to Thursday night at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Now, incredibly cold. Not a great night to be out on the town. Sparse crowd, but still amazing. This is Curtis B. Belgium, I believe. Yes, man. That's Oliver Shillington being introduced, Rhett. The Calgary Wranglers back into the lineup. And watch this. Is this not Oliver Shillington? Grabs the puck in the slot, beats a man up the ice, hard to the net, gets a shot. Like that. That is an element they have not had a lot of. That looks like vintage Oliver Shillington in the sense of like, yep, that's how he plays. That's him.
He might advance the puck better than anyone on the team.
With his feet, for sure. Yeah. I totally agree. I don't know that you have a guy that can grab it behind his net and just rag the puck up the ice like he can. Rag would be the wrong word, like bolt it up the ice. He, I think a little bit of a groin tweak. They did not play on Saturday, but he got back in on Thursday. That feels like a haven't played in a long time injury. A little like, let's give you a few days. Groin barking a bit.
Take your time with that.
But it's happened, man. There was many that wondered if it ever would. Many had proclaimed it would not. There's no bonus marks for guessing the future. He is back. He is playing professional hockey and could be a massive asset for the Flames moving forward. Congrats to Oliver, and a great news for the city of Calgary, for Oliver, his family, and the Calgary Flames. I dig that. I dig it.
I do too. You never know with that stuff. So keep it up.
Keep it up indeed. And his post-game comments were awesome. He was asked about it. He seemed very relaxed, big smiles. He kept saying how much fun he had. And that tells me that a guy's in a really good spot relative to probably where he's been the last year and a half. So great news there. Today's the day you might want to be at Mad Rose, I'm thinking. Rhett, we got sports all day. It's Martin Luther King Day in the States. I'm sure you're more aware of that than our listeners are. It's a holiday in the States. NHL hockey already underway by about a half hour here. We got a 2:30 football game from Buffalo, Calgary time. Then we've got the Monday Nighter, which is the Eagles and the Bucks, 2 playoff games, wall-to-wall sports, and at Mad Rose Pub up in, up in Royal Oak, just off Stony and Country Hills. It's 25% off Appetizers Day, which I know it holds a special place in your heart.
And I haven't eaten, so I could really hunker in there for an afternoon and just pile into my New Year's thing keeps getting put. You're going to start to get healthy, right? Every New
Sure. I see people.
I haven't started quite yet. Gonna wait a while.
Do you know what? I just get through the storm. Hold in for a bit. Stay comfy.
My birthday's coming. I got a February. Fit February.
Love it. Very good. 25% off Appies is, I think of you, because I recall going many places where appetizers will arrive at the table and people will say, "Oh, thanks, Rhett." You said, "For what? These are mine."
Yeah, you don't share.
I'm getting these 3 appetizers and an entree. Get your paws away.
Share appetizers. Get out of here.
Wall-to-wall sports all day. Tell them we say hi at Mad Rose up in Royal Oak. You want a Pinder Report, Rhett? Because we're in the neighborhood. We're already up in the Northwest. Let's go to Village Honda. Now, maybe your car didn't start today. VillageHonda.com is going to be your friend. There are a lot of people realizing they do not have a reliable Honda over the last week. It is, I think even our boy Jack, I don't want to put him on the spot, but Jack is not in the room today. Jack is not hungover. Jack is not shirking responsibilities. Jack basically has seen his vehicle turn into a brick of ice. Is that correct, Jack? Can you confirm that?
That is correct.
Jack attack.
Jack, I mean, VillageHonda.com. Go to the website, see what you're going to get, and you will have a reliable car for the rest of the winter. Whether it's new or pre-owned, they've got you settled over 400 pre-owned units when you mix in the dealer group they're in, the Wood Auto Group. And if you're looking for new vehicles, pricing MSRP, they are your dealership for life. Let your automotive adventures start at Village Honda. Okay, so we start, Rhett, with the wild card standings. We showed you this. The Calgary Flames, they're in one here. The Dads have got them on a nice little run. 3 wins in a row for the club. Ottawa at home, then the 2-game road trip they sweep. Aside from that shitty loss in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, Rhett.
Well, that's
8 days ago.
Can you imagine getting to the end of the year again and going, "You dumb bastards lost to Chicago," and that's what kept you out?
That's the game.
Like that
one. We usually sort by points percentage, but there's a look with the games played, which is some important context. The Oilers have played 4 less games, but 2 points up on the Flames. They'll play them this weekend.
You don't want to play the Oilers right now.
You'll play them on Saturday. We'll be in Jasper with all those Oilers honks. Oof.
The only thing that might be good is that they've been playing so well. They're due for a loss. They're due.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. The winning streaks never go on forever, but boy, they look good right now. And looking at that schedule, there are some teams that aren't going so hot right now. The Leafs have had collapses in 3 games in a row, I believe. They'll be here on Thursday. You just walloped Arizona in that beautiful tiny rink Mullet Arena we visited on Thursday. You'll get a better effort from Arizona, I'd suggest. In fact, they bounced back against Minnesota and looked much better on the weekend.
I actually think it's a huge disadvantage for Arizona at home.
Yeah, I agree.
Playing in that rink, because all the teams that come in there, not all, but a lot, their fans will travel to Arizona. Yeah. And it's a unique experience for the guys on the other team. So whenever there's something different, and it's not that monotonous, like it's January, like this is doldrums for these players. It's hard to get up for these games. Anything that's different, like a rink like that, is a benefit for the opposing team.
I agree. Like I think about, imagine if somehow, some way, because we wouldn't have chosen to go there, but we were at the Glendale Arena on Thursday, not at Mullet Arena. Like think about how different the vibes would be. That cavernous 17,000 seat arena, and there might be the same number of people. It might be 4 to 6,000 people, and they're just scattered. Like that's just another meaningless game that feels even less energy than the others. And instead, you're in Mullet Arena, and you have more energy than any other road game of the year, probably. I mean, it was just an electric atmosphere, and it's too bad that the economics don't allow the NHL to play in venues this size. But it was special.
It was awesome. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact there was a lot of Calgary fans and the Flames were playing well, so that does help too. But it is a really cool spot to go watch. I remember when I started, we played in the old arena in Miami.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute dump, like just gross.
Yeah.
But small venue, 14,000 people right on top of you, old school, like they're fun to play in.
Totally. Yeah. It's the bigger rinks are better at making money, but no one is saying that United Center is louder and more crazy than Chicago Stadium. Like, it's just the way these things go. They get bigger. It's tough to create that atmosphere that clearly the Flames benefited from, I thought, with, you noted it, the number of fans traveling. Like, if you're a fan of the Canucks, the Oilers, Winnipeg, like anywhere where you get a winner that's not great and you got a direct flight, like you got to go to this place. It's going to be way too much fun. There's going to be 1,000 of your new pals from the same city cheering for the same team there. And to your point, I think the players are up for it. Okay, we'll move. This is hilarious. Bruce Boudreau's doing some work on TNT, I believe. It might be ESPN. Let's have a look. Bruce talking about Quinn Hughes and the craziest thing you might hear about people that get paid in the hockey industry.
I got to say this for the first time on TV. And I mean, I'm not going to say who, but somebody in that Vancouver organization tried to make me make Quinn Hughes a center last year.
What?
And I refused to do it. And I said, I'm not making him a center. I'm not making him a center. Wow. And they kept trying to put Quinn at center, and I am so happy I didn't. First of all, he would probably not take it very well.
I don't think so.
And secondly, the year he's having a Norris Trophy kind of year, boy, that it's quite a difference from him playing center on that team.
Is that not wild? And yes, that's NHL Network that Bruce is doing some work with Jackie Redmond there. Does that not seem like the crazy owner, the handsy owner? I can't think of anyone else saying that.
Yeah, it would seem that other people wouldn't, I don't think, have that opinion. So it would make the most sense. But
yeah,
I thought I was talking to you guys about it, but there is a new philosophy coming out that positions should be
positionless hockey.
Yes,
we start somewhere at a face-off, but you see it on the back check already. Like, just fill lanes. What order are you? That's where you go to.
And if it ever comes about, it actually makes more sense.
If you have the skills, yeah. Like, if you've got guys that can go back and defend as forwards, great. I just don't know how many.
But you got to remember that none of these guys have ever been taught it.
That's like
from a young age, right? Like, if you took a team of your kids' age team, no positions.
We pretty much do that. And if you have hockey sense and you have your eyes up, you know where to be.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You got to remember, that's we're talking about 8-year-olds. When you're 25, you've been highly specialized for probably 15 years, right?
And the way some of these guys play nowadays, and it's not a knock, they're all over the ice anyway. So instead of Hughes screaming, "Get back, you're a D and it's in our end," well, yeah, somebody else is there already anyway. I'll fill this hole.
Yeah. You're talking about creativity in the players. I think you know where this is going. It's not. Have a look. So it looks like he's loading up the Michigan fake and wraparound. The fake Michigan for a tap in. This is, man.
I like
Don Cherry might have a heart attack if he sees this, but I just think the creativity that we're seeing in the game right now is phenomenal.
Well, the fact that Zegras did that, I guess it wasn't Zegras. Was he the first? Doesn't matter. Whoever.
Well, they flipped it over the back of the net for the bat in. That was Sonny Milano, wasn't it?
That's right, Sonny Milano. Yeah, but the fact that that's now a threat, do you have to? Now they're taking advantage of it. All of this advances.
Wild, crazy weekend in the NFL. And one of the things that always gives me a bit of a scare, whenever we're all on the same team in our NFL picks, I'm like, ooh, I don't like it when there's consensus, because if everyone thinks the same thing, my gut always tells me, like, you're probably wrong.
Right.
And so with that, let's go take a look at some of these experts in the US and their picks. There's the full panel picking the Browns. That is on Saturday, the early game.
I didn't realize this. The Browns defense was better than that Baltimore defense numbers-wise from 2000.
It was the best D in the league all year, and they got absolutely throttled. It was a tough weekend for so-called good defenses. I'll tell you that. So there's the Browns getting the clean sweep. That's a horrible sign. And these are like Steve Mariucci, Rich Eisen. There's some players there. This is the Fox panel. they're all in on the Cowboys. Jeez.
Sorry,
Another
Greg
team with a
Keller.
great defense at times this year, Rhett.
Yeah. I was in on the Cowboys too, so I got
And then here we love the Rams. That is, if you ever see one of those graphics where everyone's on the same team, just throw a couple bucks on Betway on the other side, because it means you're getting crazy big odds. And this sport, I swear, it's the one where the weirdest things happen. What a weekend it was. So there's your expert picks. Jack is a huge Chase Claypool fan. I believe he's from Abbotsford, BC, the Canadian. But look at this. The Bears went 0-10. They moved them. Then they go 7-6. Dolphins 7-1. They go get Claypool 4-5. Oh, that's a tough look. Felt for the Finns. You get that team. You're so close to home field, and then you got to go minus 30. Like,
yeah, you get shit pumped by the Bills the week before and get sent to Kansas City for a minus 30 game. You knew damn well they weren't going to win it.
And so they finished their year with one victory over a 500 team. That's wild. Like, brutal. You had an easy schedule. You took advantage. But anytime they played a good team, with the exception of once, they lost.
Yeah. Doesn't bother me at all.
If only there were some Dolphin fans we could rub it in with.
We'll
have to research that. If you were disappointed at the Dallas Cowboys performance, you weren't alone. Here's Calgary Flame and Texas native Blake Coleman. Being a Cowboys fan feels like watching the same movie every year and being shocked that the ending stayed the same.
Feel for you, Blake. Don't let it get you distracted, buddy. You stick to what you're doing. Don't change anything.
You keep Rusty in town as long as you want, Blake, all right? Don't you be rushing Dad home to Texas. By the way, if you're not familiar, that's where we are in the Cowboys cycle. The season begins. They beat up on bad teams. Fans get delusional. Everyone talks about how good the Cowboys are, and then they proceed to choke in the playoffs. Another heartbreaking loss at home.
I think the Cowboys got exposed when they came to Buffalo, to be honest with you. They were hot. They were playing lights out, and they were kicking the piss out of teams, and they came to Buffalo, and the Buffalo had a game plan for them, and everyone else learned from it. I like that. I like
There's
that one.
Dak. I guess I didn't know the Leafs had a football team, but there's some similarities. A lot of Leafs Cowboys parallels being drawn yesterday, Rhett.
Yeah, I can see why.
Not great. And if you're wondering why,
there's only one fan I feel bad for. That's Greg Keller.
Oh, poor Greg. And there it is. The worst playoff winning percentages since 1997. I was in grade 10 then, Rhett. That's a while ago. Cowboys have lost 3/4 of their games. 4-12. Oh.
Hard to win in the playoffs.
Dolphins have won 1/4 of their playoff games. Washington's won 1/4 of their playoff games. Bills are on that list. They're just over 1/3. They got a chance to make that better today. My Chargers are in there. Yeah. Those are your lovable losers in there, friends. Ooh. Cowboys, the worst. And suddenly, why is Jerry talking to the media after every game? Like, it looks Jerry. Like he's... I guess if you want to be the GM, you got to answer those questions. But, I mean, how many owners come out and talk within minutes of their season's ending? Almost none. And it looks like his eyes are shrink-wrapped in tears, and it's like, oh, poor guy. Stop being the GM, Jerry. Let the pros do it. You're an owner. Lions.
He could just get out of his own way.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like, fire the people that screw it up. Don't have to live with you screwing it all up. Lions finally won, man. This is cool. We had a friend of the show at the building in Detroit. 30+ years since their last victory in the postseason. Look at the scenes as the clock went to zeros. Nobody's left their feet left.
There's
no avoiding traffic.
I absolutely love it. And I like that coach. Wasn't that the coach? We're going to get knocked down. We're going to get back up.
And bite him in the kneecap.
Yeah.
And knock us down again. We'll bite him in the other kneecap. Yeah, Dan Campbell.
They're doing it.
And honestly, the Rams, hell of a year. All they went through, they were expected to be brutal this year. Matt Stafford, he took some licks yesterday. Puka Nacua, an incredible year. And here's the Lions GM celebrating. He is in the elevator. Now, his first ever job was like an intern, and he worked his way all the way up to GM. That maybe helps explain all the emotion here. He's right in the middle of the elevator, Rhett. That is so good.
I like it.
That's your life work right there. To get a playoff win for Detroit, and they love their football there. That's pretty cool. Some rookies made some impressions. Some young players made some impressions over the weekend. Let's have a look. Jordan Love, perfect passer rating in the victory on the road in Dallas. What a season finish he's had. You got C.J. Stroud, the rookie. No problem with the top defense in the NFL and the Cleveland Browns. Puka Nacua setting rookie receiving records. Flirted with 200 yards in his first ever playoff game. And then, Rashee Rice was pretty nails for Kansas City as well. They needed a second receiving threat behind Kelsey. He's turned into that. Pretty awesome performances. League's in good hands. Today's games, let's have a peek. Talked about it. It's 2:30 start Calgary time. That's 4:30 Rhett time in Buffalo. Sounds like you're leaning like you're not going to be there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got a sick kid. It's anyway. Yeah.
Get cozy, get some grub.
I might go to a pub.
And you know what? You got a double
down
header.
The street. Is that okay?
Of course. Yes.
All right. Might do that.
Yeah. Wear those big Sorel boots you've got.
Get the galoshes out and where you go.
And when the Bills win, you can celebrate and no rush home. You'll just check in on the Flyers the Eagles and the Bucks. Good nightcap tonight.
Don't know what to make of that one.
Mandeep's fired up as well. We know Jack's fired up. Mandeep's fired up. Bills fans,
Mandeep.
Steelers fan. This is our last chance for Smack Talk. You, Mandeep, Jack, what do you got for them?
Shut the front door, man. Seriously? Kick him off the team. Bench him the first game of the next weekend.
We can't afford to. We need to win. We need Mandeep's our best player. It is saying something when you have NHL alums on your pond hockey team, but Mandeep is your best player. We can't be sitting him. It's too good to sit.
Interesting.
It's like Malkin. He might not try one game, but he's still going to have 3 points, and you can't bench him. Lovable losers. We showed the list earlier. With the victory from the Lions, that leaves 2 teams as the most miserable losers in North American sport. How about this? Longest drought since 1995. The Reds have not won a playoff game. Cincinnati, oof, that's a long time. Mariners were on that list. It'd been a long one for them. And now the Dolphins, longest drought in the NFL since 2000. Oh, boy.
Well, and a lot of questions there now after getting pumped or not beating anyone good all year. It's like, are you any good? Like, Tua's your guy? Or?
And he's the coach is not a traditional guy. And, they've got questions now around Tua again with portions of a great season, but turning over the ball too much. There's some Josh Allen. There's some left-handed Josh Allen in Tua there. There's turning over the ball way too much.
The guys on the show here, they know more about it than I do, but they said it's all scripted. If the script doesn't go as planned for Tua, he's not, like Allen will screw it up and he'll throw it away, but he will try and make plays and he reads and reacts to stuff. And sometimes it turns out beautifully. Mahomes, same, ad lib kind of guys. And Tua is 100% not that.
Right. So Josh Allen might make his mistakes freelancing. Tua, if he has to freelance at all, look out.
Yeah.
Okay. Got some dumb stuff for you. This must be a Buffalo Junior Sabres game because look at the way that this kind of behavior, Red. Some of the worst I've ever seen in hockey. Let's have a look. Puck goes into the corner here, and what the hell?
Oh, just finish it.
Always finish your checks, says Coach Warner.
Yeah.
Problem is that's the ref.
Oh, son of a.
Yeah.
Is that real? Like,
that's
what in the F?
That I think you really just have to plead concussion. There's no other case to
play that again, Jack Attack, if you can, because the ref isn't even paying attention. Like, this is how.
Yeah,
everyone's out to lunch.
There's a D-man, a forward, and a ref, and
puck's coming at him.
Forecheck is right on the ref. Not ideal, Retro.
That's a good hit, though. Shoulder to shoulder. Followed through.
Now, did you ever see those like greeting cards or happy birthday cards? And it's like lovey-dovey. When we're old, we want to look like this. This is how, when we're old, this is our relationship goals, our dreams. This is how you get it done right here. You're traveling the world with your loved one. You're not messing around with walking. This is your couple's goals. Look at this. The ride-on suitcases. Look at those two. Go get it.
The shoveler's goal was today because there's $20 an hour. You go shovel all the snow you want. She's been down at the stadium for 2 days.
She's going to be jacked, eh? Those arms just all shoulders
rich
and arms.
And just
where's she going to spend all that money? I know tight she is spending the money. Where's she going to spend the $100 shoveling money?
Give me a Bills toque.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. We saw some people jumping into Rob Ray's pool the other day. I don't know if this is Rob's. This looks like a souped up version, but the same accident again. You got to watch for this.
Oh, dude.
Backs don't bend that way.
You got to be AI, no?
Like, oh, jeez. What are we doing? How do you not get cut in half? Like, I'm sorry. I hope the person's all right.
Yeah. That's not ideal.
Now the Browns fans, was
that boom in Vegas at a pool party?
No, that is not. But it has been eerily silent on the boomer front from Vegas. Browns fans getting all fired up. This must have been before their loss in Houston on Saturday. Sharing their beers. Isn't that nice? Have a look. So these guys are hauls one. Caught by the guy on the ship. And if you're like, nah, he didn't catch it, just listen. Yeah, you got it. That's like a 50-yard bomb. Good work. Hail Mary beer onto the boat. And they're fired up in the dog pound. Good stuff, Rhett. Finally, in Uzbekistan, apparently 50 cents in the club is... You're playing this at weddings. It's a huge hit. Let's have a listen.
Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday. Go,
it's a banger everywhere, Red.
Go,
travels the world.
Go, shawty.
In the club.
It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday.
I wish Boom was here for that. He really loves the music. That would have been a good one for him. No. That's your Pinder Report, Rhett. Hope you enjoyed it on a Monday. We even saved some dumb stuff for tomorrow. We're locked and loaded for the week. We're in good shape. It's brought to you by our good friends at Village Honda. This is exactly the type of week you need to be reminded you need a reliable vehicle. Go check them out in the Northwest Auto Mall and at villagehonda.com. If your car is not starting today, that's a really good place to start. Let all your automotive adventures start with Village Honda, your dealership for life. All right. So shoveler's shoveling. You got a kid that might not be full health, not going to go to the game. You're going to the pub tonight. Flames are off till tomorrow. Arizona rolls back through. This is they got some time here. 6 at home, All-Star break, CBA mandated break. Connie's got a lot to think about the next 3.5 weeks here.
We've talked about this before. This break always screws them up. Like, how many times have they been hot going into the break and they come out of the break and it's just, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
I know it's happened. I know it's happened. You can't put your finger on it. It's not something that it's.
And then you're like, should you really have been in Cabo, Johnny? Should you? And
yeah.
Then, we've had this chat before. You're right. I say just keep the dads around. Wherever the dads are, that's where the kids got to go.
Damn kids are irresponsible.
So, a little development on the show.
Ticket prices here. Maybe you should go.
Well, give us a read. What's the update here? Because you got a special area you want covered.
Exactly. I'm kind of.
You're fancy.
I'm a bit fancy, but we're talking anywhere from. Let's see. 350 to 5.
Okay, and in a regular season game with normal weather, a couple hundred. Same seat.
Yeah, a couple hundred.
So that's
See,
your
with the snow though, like this section I sit in, if you're row 7 or lower, you're still exposed. If you're 7
Right.
and higher, you're under the heaters. It's beautiful.
and then
The
if
seats will be
weird
dry,
weather, you're
your
protected.
ass isn't wet.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I hear you. That's a dangle. It's a move. Now, I don't know. This was supposed to happen, but in classic Rhett fashion, I think yours might be lost in delivery. But our good friends at Douglas have sent us a mattress. Myself, Dino. I don't know if there's border issues or if you're planning on returning
Yeah,
to
I know where
Calgary to
mine
get it.
is. Mine is at the house in Calgary. It's
And
ready.
so luckily I've had the chance to sleep on the Douglas mattress, which was our mattress is old. And I feel like it's one of those things in our homes that we cling on to too long for. And you're like, when you do make the change, you're like, why didn't we do this sooner? Why did we spend years in these ruts that have formed like for the last decade when we could have just, improved our life? The Douglas mattress arrived. I was incredibly impressed how small the box was, given a king size mattress. And then you open it up and boom, full size, comfortable mattress. It sleeps cool, not with like
Good.
sunglasses on
Don't
cool,
like
but
hot.
like, no, you're not hot. You're not sweating. And I think one of the features that I particularly enjoy is movement isolation, motion isolation. Like,
Yep.
think about it. I roll in all banged up at 1 a.m. Oh, yeah, what is sleeping? She doesn't need the whole mattress to rock around. That's not going to work for her,
Yeah,
right?
it's different days.
And it's
Yeah.
like it's a PD day for school today because of course it is. They just had a 2-week vacation. They need some time off, the kids. I'm getting up to do the show. Mama Bear and the kids are gonna have a little snooze, a little sleep in
Like
today.
out.
Just whoosh, right out of the bed. No one wakes up. That's an important feature these days. Also incredibly comfortable and relieving pressure as well. If you get sore body from your sleep, that probably means your mattress sucks. So big shout outs to Douglas. They were named Canada's best mattress by Canadian Living. They've got over 10,000 5-star reviews, and they have a 365 night risk-free trial. That's right. You can sleep on it for a year. You don't like it? No questions asked.
Wow.
Get your money back. They'll take it away from you. They'll donate it to charity. That's how good of the people they are. Here's another thing. Proudly made right here in Calgary, Rhett, the Douglas mattress. How about that?
Did not know that.
So that obviously makes delivery quite easy. We're not sending it from Abu Dhabi. It's right here. It also means great materials. It's been built properly. Not some janky production here. You can order today at douglas.ca/FlamesNation. That's your move. Order today at douglas.ca/FlamesNation, and they'll have a nice little package for you, I believe. Some of those nice memory foam pillows, pillow covers, set of sheets, all that free. Douglas.ca/FlamesNation. What? And myself, very happy with the early returns on the mattress. And again, we would have been very happy just to be off that 20. Oh, like way too people. We got to deal with
you
our
do
mattress.
spend some time in that in the mattress, or
Like
on
a
the
third of your
mattress.
life.
Yeah,
right?
like you may.
Like if you're 8 hours a day, that's a third of your life you're in that thing. You might want to,
Yeah, feel
not
free to have
live
a good
on it
one.
for 40 years. Upgrade your life. Douglas.ca/FlamesNation.
Quit being miserable. Upgrade.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think he sleeps for 8 hours a day. He would probably scroll social
Maybe
media
he would.
apps
Maybe
at
he
4 in the
will.
morning. Maybe he would sleep better. Probably hard not to be fair. So big thank you to our friends at Douglas. And again, check out the website for more information. Impressive. Great value, great quality, great sleep. And I love it. Roll over. Don't wake the other person up. That's a move. Douglas.ca/FlamesNation for more.
Pretty soon she won't even know you're there. You don't snore. You don't.
In and out as you please, Rhett. No problem. We can get rid of that doorbell cam. We're in great shape. Oh, yeah. It's in at midnight. Speaking of sleeping, we saw some of the fellas on the trip, and there was some unique carry-on. I'm like, what does that bag hold? And they're like, oh, that's my sleeping machine, my CPAP, whatever it's called.
CPAP, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's not as cool as I thought.
No,
It's not like a beer holster. That's not some travel cooler. So you haven't seen Dr. J at Outdoor Dental. That's a shame. because here's the thing, we were double occupancy. So aside from obviously the talent, but that means you had a roommate. You don't want to snore. So that's why a lot of the guys brought their machines. If you just go to Dr. J down by the South Health Campus, in Seton area around there, 2 15-minute treatments, get that laser over the soft palate in the back of your throat. That's going to reduce the snoring, the ability for your body even to create a snore, tighten that soft palate. It's flapping less, sleep better, less annoying to the people you're living with. It might reduce your snoring to absolutely zero. I've certainly enjoyed a significant reduction. Significant other, significantly happier. That's a good thing. That's a win. And you don't need to drag that machine maybe coast to coast if you get this done as well. Go say hi to Dr. J at Outdoor.Dental. And of course, that's Leia Laser, not just for the snoring treatment. All kinds of, all your other dentistry needs will be met there as well. State-of-the-art technology, brand new place, great service. And they even had a little video game room for the kids, which I was quite impressed with.
Kids like that.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Just the whole family, we're going to get done here. You just hang in here, play Mario for a bit, bud. Hey, good.
Just hang out.
Can we go to the dentist again, Dad?
Don't even know you're gone.
Times have changed. So big shouts to them as well. Okay, let's look at what's on the menu tonight as we do that for DoorDash. Busy day in the world of sports. Martin Luther King Day, we noted. Also, huge playoff doubleheader. We've got the postponed Sunday game in Buffalo coming up this afternoon, as well as another one. We will finally have the divisional round set up probably by around bedtime tonight Eastern. Our friends at DoorDash reminding you, it's not just food. You can do delivery of all kinds of things. Groceries, flowers, maybe it's a stop at the pharmacy. Maybe your studio on the second floor of a building in Marteloops run out of toilet paper, Red. You could go to DoorDash. It would deliver that for you. Isn't that nice of them?
Sometimes
Awesome.
you need it. Yeah.
And if it's your first time on DoorDash, download that app, enter the promo code NATION25, and you will get free delivery and 25% off your first order over $15. Valid in Canada only, terms and conditions. But yeah, there's a nice hello, welcome to DoorDash. And maybe it's the toilet paper and then it's flowers to apologize to others. Or maybe it's just some sort of some deodorizer. What are they? Anyway,
All kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Lots of stuff. You're right, Red. We probably don't need to get too specific. Here's where we're going. What's on the menu tonight? 2:30 this afternoon, Calgary time. Steelers, Bills, your club favored by 10. 10.
It's a lot.
Jack, 10. That's a lot.
Too many.
Oh,
Yeah,
and did we agree on a bet?
We're going to go for, what's that soup joint in Bridgeland or whatever? We're going to go for
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go out when we come
Ramen.
back
Ramen noodles.
and Jack's going to buy me lunch.
Okay.
The problem with 10 points for a Steelers fan is like if the Bills win by 7. Are you happy? Like, it's the playoffs. You're going home.
Yeah. Jack, I mean, you're really not interested in the spread either, are you?
No, I'm not.
Win.
Like, I don't want them to get their ass kicked, though. Like, I'm not happy. I want them to win, obviously. But if it's an ass kicking, like,
Yeah, if it's over at halftime, we're not happy.
no.
And the other thing, if you're the Steelers, this is you've faced a lot of adversity. You're on to what, your third or fourth quarterback here?
Yeah,
You don't like TJ Watt's not going to play. Like if you can hang till the last drive with the Bills, and Josh Allen just does something Josh Allen and wins the game, like you could keep your head high. That's a hell of a year for Mike Tomlin, who apparently just doesn't miss the playoffs. All right, Jack's with me, I guess.
Jack's with you.
That game's going to be followed by the Eagles and Bucks. Miserable end of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Do they get a great reset here, or is it the same miserable second half? The Bucks are hosting them because the Eagles floundered away that huge lead in the NFC East. They were 11-1, weren't they?
Yes.
Oh,
11-1. I sat beside an Eagles fan on the way home, and he's like, "Oh, it's
miserable.
This is no good."
Yeah, and they did have there was a little blip in there where they were happy. It was yesterday when the Cowboys lost. Their divisional rivals. Careful. Careful. No Frank today, by the way, because it's a holiday in the States, but also a game day. He's putting the war paint on him.
Frank might be down in Tampa Bay. Yeah.
He's got to be on the road, get some good weather, get the paint on. Let's go. Game day. 6:15 Calgary time there. That's what's on the menu for DoorDash. You said ramen. That's a great move. We had a family dinner last night. Guess what we did? Ramen.
Really?
That's right.
You're capable of this.
What? Made some for the kids, and then the adults we all ordered in. So because everyone's got different little, I like this, I like that. But the kids got.
I like that. I thought you actually meant that you made it. I'm like,
she did. She made some for the kids, which is impressive. My wife's an incredible cook. I'm a very lucky man, right? Very lucky man. So there it is for order. What else? What are? It's 2 games. I need 2 orders from you. So ramen, and then for the night game, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm going to. It's all pub food for me.
Okay, well,
it's wings, it's nachos, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm just going all in on appetizers. Is pizza an appetizer? I don't know, but I'm doing the whole gamut of bar food.
Okay, very good. We have an Origin update for you, which is very exciting. The Barnburner Blonde, of course, has been flying around. Everyone's enjoying it. We got pictures coming in every week. Got more for you this week of our pals that we'll throw at you later in the week. But some great news from our pal Mark from Origin. They have now got the second batch canned. They have now got the second batch into some kegs. They now have it in, I don't want to get too technical here, but Liquor Connect. So there is a central warehouse in the province that every liquor store, every bar and restaurant can order booze from. It's like the one place. We now have the Triple B, the Barnburner Blonde, in that Liquor Connect. So if you are a pub owner, if you are a liquor store, you can now order it and have it delivered to your store, your pub, your restaurant, whatever it is. So just a quick reminder on that. And yes, they were out for a few days last week. Canning happened Thursday, which means we're back in business. Every Thursday is delivery day to Calgary. Anything within 50K of Calgary, they'll deliver to for a small charge. And that means the Barnburner Blonde can be showing up right at your front door. And we've even seen it at top mountains, outside football games in the States, overseas. The Blonde's traveling well for its first couple months of existence.
Most blondes do, so that's good.
Is that right? They travel better than brunettes. Learning things new.
Yeah.
Originbrewing.ca for more information. The merch is great. The beer's even better. Can't lose. Head to the website. Or if you're in Strathmore, just stop by the tap room.
Pop in,
say hello. We had a great night there. That was unbelievable.
It was very good. They should have us back out.
I think it's probably got to be a semi-annual. Well, and you know what they always get fired up for? The brewery, I think, coincides with its birthday, and it's starting with the Strathmore Rodeo, which is the running of the bulls. It's in July. So I don't know. It's very early for you.
Or is it in August?
No, it's July. Oh, no, maybe it was August because you're right. Yeah, it's August. You're right.
Long.
August long. That's what it is. So just after July. But they throw the big party. July. They got the food truck out the back. It's running of the bulls in Strathmore. If you're around, Rhett, I would suggest we
say run with the bulls, you must have been into the blondes because I ain't running no bull. I can't run.
I need to know the numbers. Like I'm a data guy. If there's 1,000 people running and one gets hurt, I'll run with the bulls. But if this is like, a third of the people got gored, I'm not interested. That's not going to work for me.
It's probably tough to continue if 50% are getting piled up.
Yeah. So I need more info, but the good news is we got time. We'll figure it out by the time August rolls around. And we head out for another.
Maybe that's what Jack and I should be betting.
Oh my God, Jack. Can we please do this?
No, I'm not putting
on with the bulls. Loser. Oh, come on, guys. All right, fine. It is a little aggressive. It's a little aggressive. Fine.
I like the suit bet.
How far do we have to run?
This is the info we need, right?
We need. I need. Yeah.
Like if I can just run and then here comes a bull, hop over a fence, stay on the other side. Yeah, sure. If we're in the line of fire and there's nowhere to go, that's trouble. I had a buddy go to Pamplona, Spain, a couple of years ago. The videos were just phenomenal because it's this cobblestone and the hoofs they're sliding in the corner. So you got to take the corners tight because the bulls slide. And it's like, apparently if you get down, you stay down because they're really good with their feet. They won't step on you. But if you're up, they'll just run through you. It's horrifying.
Jack, it's starting to snow here again. Look out.
Good. Keep it coming. I do have the stadium looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, they put a tarp on things and apparently it worked real well.
Talked about it with Boom the other day. you got a new stadium built. That roof's really going to help, isn't it, Rhett? That new retractable.
Oh yeah.
Nope, they don't want one. They want to do this every year. That does look quite a bit better. So they still got to clear out some of the seats, but at least the field's looking pretty good.
Not hard to tell what sections have been dealt with.
Yeah, there's not white seats and blue seats. They're all blue. Let's watch that again. Yeah, so there's one half of the building that needs a lot of work still. Field looks great, though, Rez. Do you just arrive at your snowdrift?
The red seats up there? That's where
that's
where the Redster hangs out.
Oh, you're fancy.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, yeah. You got bar service up there delivering your seat?
Yeah, baby.
All right. You and the shovel are doing it right. Very impressed.
Well, she's earning it with all that work she's doing out there.
Yep. Well, you shovel that full section. That section E, she's going to take care of. That'll pay for your seat. Good. Now, if they win, they will host Kansas City. That's correct, fellas?
I do not know.
That is correct, yeah.
And so for all the horror of potentially having to face Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, it would be in Buffalo, Rhett.
Oh, I actually don't worry about Kansas City because I think the Bills have handled Kansas City pretty good the last couple of years.
Yeah, but my point being, it's at home.
Go to that game.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Maybe today's not your day. Maybe next weekend, divisional round.
I'm definitely going.
I got some Bills bets. We're doing it for Betway. Get the app on your phone. Hope you had a great weekend, having a little fun, throwing a buck or two down here or there.
Am I allowed to change one of my picks for the?
Not after the game's played. No. If you have,
yeah, but it was already played before.
If the result's in, you can't change your pick. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely made a weird decision. We'll talk about it in the moment.
I went with what I felt.
Let's do this first because we'll revisit our football picks tomorrow. We have a bunch of guys that are in on that Bills game and Bucks and Eagles for the bets of the week from Friday. But this is where I'm going tonight. Playoff Leonard Fournette somewhere, somehow just appeared in Buffalo. And if they get the ball at the one, Rhett, yeah, maybe it's Josh Allen, but plus 500 for Lenny to bump one into the end zone. He's done this before.
He can catch. They're not going to throw it to Cook because he's dropped 2 in the end zone already. That were big drops.
Yeah,
in games, and I think they'll use Fournette in that situation.
This is big game hunting. I know they had what was it? Latavius Murray is the other guy they've got there, but Fournette's we've seen a lot of him the last few days. Plus 500 is a big number, a bit of a long shot, but I love the number. I also love the number for Diggs. If he catches that first touchdown, plus 600.
They're going to use him more. Finally, they're going to use Diggs more. Gabe Davis is out.
Gabe Davis. No 3 touchdown performance for him. We'll see if Diggs gets the first of the game, plus 600. Betway, 19 plus, Ontario only. Bet the responsible way with Betway. I can't wait for Jasper this weekend. We got our pond hockey tournament up in Jasper, which is going to be a blast. The Betway gang is going to be out there having fun. One of our boys that was in Nashville for the draft with us from Quebec, I'm assuming it's got to be a right-hand shot winger. Good hands. I'm thinking like if he's going to come play on our team and he's from Quebec, I have high expectations. Don't need a goalie. It's those little pond hockey nets.
You need someone to play with man deep. So
that's right. We need some skill. Skill and skill don't clash. Meets don't clash. Skill don't clash. Looking forward to saying hello to those friends of ours again this weekend in Jasper. It's busy this January. Then we're out east in a couple weeks to see you in Toronto.
Early February.
Late Jan, early Feb. Chaos, man. Crazy busy.
Hopefully the weather's okay.
Jack, what have we missed? Is there anything in the comments? Are people losing? We got a brisk show today. We have no Frank, no Dean. Paid some bills, had some fun, cheering on the Bills.
Yeah, this guy listening from Spain.
Wow. No way. The sun's setting in Spain. How good is that? Rumsey, Alberta. Where the hell is Rumsey? I think you made a good decision, Ian. I'm guessing it's a little warmer in Spain than Rumsey today.
My dad told me it was minus 52 in Swift Current this morning.
Good Lord. Hang in there, folks.
And it's Swift Current.
It's a weird one in Calgary, Red. It's going to get like 15, 20 degrees warmer. We'll have a high of minus 18. It's minus 30 when we got it. I'm like, okay, it's going to be a lot warmer. I can't wait to shed some layers for minus 18. Jack, Godspeed.
What's
Sorry,
the cutoff for kids too? Because I think we've all gotten soft, but minus 52 seems aggressive.
I know at one point I was going to a school we rode a bus to, and it was like propane or whatever the bus ran on froze at minus 37. So we used that old Channel 4 used to just be like the bars of color and like scrolling news, like a teleprompter, and they'd have a little weather module in the corner. We were always rooting for minus 37. That was a big number for us.
That was the
snow day.
Rumsey is north of Drumheller.
Ah, all right. Yeah, not far from Three Hills, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's out by that old saloon you almost bought.
Well, I was going to say, it's got to be close to the, what was the name? Last Chance?
It's dinosaur territory there. Yeah.
Yeah, just east of Trochu.
We got all kinds of viewers and listeners up in that neck of the woods. Torrington, Trochu, Three Hills, Drumheller. Retro, you have a day, would you?
I'm excited. I actually got up and sweated a little bit this morning. I'm going to go have a nice shower. I don't know how early to get to the pub. I don't want to be overserved before it starts, but I don't want to risk not having a seat.
Okay, so it's 1:15 in Buffalo right now as you sit there. The game will start at 4:30. You don't want to be late where you don't get the seat. Are you going at the bar? Are you in the booth? Are you going with Razor?
I'm going to see who's interested in going first of all, and that'll decide that. But no matter what, I don't want to drive around all over. There's a pub that's fairly close, has good food and lots of TVs, and it looks like it's going to snow and get shitty. So I'm going to get close to home.
I would give him a call. Let him know that an illustrious Sabres alumni is showing up.
Razor thinks he's a big deal here still, and he can have some. Although he's working, I think the Sabres game has already started.
Yeah, there's a bunch of hockey on right now. We can even give you a score update. There's not often many barn burner shows we can give you a score update from around the NHL. We can do that before we end the show. I'd call the pub and just say, "Hey, it's just a average Buffalo."
You know who the hell I am? Is that what
I heard? I heard there's a Sabres alum swinging by your pub today.
You know what's
what
funny?
do you think you'd be able to do to set up that guy?
It is actually funny because this pub we stop by after practice some days. My kids like the pizza from there, so I'll pick up pizza on the way home. And the guy's like, "What is this 403 number?
What area code is this?"
I said it, and then he's like, "Didn't you used to play for the Sabres?" I'm like, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did."
All right, we got a few questions here. Let's go to them. I think Jerry's first in the queue here. Who gets called up with the spot open from Kuznetsov getting sent back down? I don't think anyone. I think Dennis Gilbert's getting healthy. That's why that happened. We might see the return of Gilbert tomorrow. He's been skating a bit. He didn't play on the roadie against Arizona or Vegas. Kudos to Osterley and DeSimone, but if Dennis is ready to go, the menace is in.
Let him play. I was shocked because it looked worse. I thought he was out long term. It was ugly.
It was ugly, and then he was posing next to the Rocky statue or whatever the next day in Philly, and it's like, okay.
He doesn't have, you know what, though? Old Denny doesn't have the same chin as Rock. He can't take him like Rocky does.
Rocky had a chin. That is fair to say. Is the mullet staying till the Flames lose? Well, I mean, basically, what I will do is when I cut it, the Flames will lose. It's not a result of the Flames. This is determining the outcome. I sat down in a barber's chair about an hour before puck drop against the Ottawa Senators. The Flames were playing that night. We had the TV going. We had a couple barn burner blondes going at the barber's table. And the Flames haven't lost since this haircut began. That was an arduous 90 minutes, by the way. All kinds of things found. So we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how long the dads are around, too. There's the other 3-0 thing. The dads were all at that Ottawa game at home before they departed the next morning for Phoenix. There's your update. Not a lot of goals, Jack, are there?
Nope, no goals.
Why don't you read us this will be fun.
Sharks, Sabres, 0-0. Ducks, Panthers, 0-0. Canucks, Blue Jackets, 0-0. Kraken, Penguins, 0-0.
Devils, Bruins?
Devils, Bruins, 0-0.
And Kings and Hurricanes later this afternoon. Lots of hockey today. Love it. Happy MLK Day, Retro.
Yes. Celebrate with a big Bills victory.
Let's do it. Other comments before we get out of here? thoughts on Markstrom and Kevin Weeks post? Well, Elliot Friedman, actually, I'm glad this. Thank you, Ched, for bringing this up. Love your radio station, by the way. Elliot had noted that on his on Saturday Night on Hockey Night in Canada, on his headlines, that it would be a very high bar for the Flames to make any sort of move on Markstrom, i.e., someone would have to come in and blow their doors off for them to get to the point where they start turning the wheels of motion. Like, he's got a no move. You can't just trade this guy. The way he's playing right now, is Craig Conroy going to walk in and be like, hey, Marky, come on over. Let's just have a little chit chat. Hey, would you wave? Like, no, not now. Don't do it. So I don't know what Weeks he's thinking, but and again, if you just put an eyeball emoji and have a picture of a guy, you're really not saying a lot, but certainly does whip up a frenzy amongst the fan base.
Yeah,
right?
it whips up a frenzy, and we could all do it.
Yeah, no, I could put eyeball emojis and put Stephon Diggs' picture up there, but I'm not Kevin Weeks, so I don't know anyone who care. Question: Resign Hanifin?
I said last week, yes.
There's two things we don't know. What does it take financially to get it done? Where $1 lower he says no, and $1 higher he says yes. What's that number? I don't know. And what's the going rate for a Noah Hanifin between now and the deadline? I also don't know that. So those are the two variables Connie's weighing. Never mind hey, we're going to need some D. There's a lot of expiring D here. And hey, to be fair, they're not 15 points out. They are 2 back in terms of points. Final playoff spot, which is wild considering that miserable 2-7-1 start. Since the outdoor game, they've looked like a competent hockey club and one that works hard and is in every game.
They just hate Halloween. They don't like October and Halloween. They just want the shit over with so that they can play some hockey.
They didn't like dressing up. I'll tell you that. The outdoor game, that was no good.
They were nervous. It was
bad look.
Yeah. All wound up about it. Couldn't sleep.
Been real good since the dressing up like Billy Bob or whatever. That was no good. No good. Have a day, folks. We're going to call it there. We'll have Boom Boom back tomorrow. Hopefully, if that flight wants to get off the ground, we will have more to tell you about. We got more pictures from Origin. We will have the entire divisional weekend set up next week for the NFL. We will see whether Rhett or our boy Jack is victorious and whether the Eagles season has ended as miserably as the last half of the regular season or if they've turned a corner against the Bucs. Have fun today. Stay warm out there today. We'll chat tomorrow. See you, buddies.
Good luck, Jack.
He's in the gear. Oh, yeah. I love it.
Get absolutely S-pumped. I'm sorry, but that's what we do.
Have fun, fellas. Enjoy it. See you tomorrow.